Right, we're going to get a couple more vocabulary words, definitions, and then be able to locate those as well. So the first thing here we want to look at are parallel lines, and we have those defined as coplanar lines that do not intersect, and then the symbol for them, which we are quite familiar with. The next thing are skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar lines that do not intersect. So they are not in the same plane and they do not intersect. And then we have parallel planes, planes that do not intersect one another. Now looking at being able to identify those, we're naming all planes parallel to plane ADH. Well, if I locate plane ADH, this plane here, if we name a plane that is parallel to it, we could see that plane BKC would be parallel to it. Next up, we want to name a segment parallel to segment AT. So here's segment AT, and it must intersect point C. So parallel and must intersect point C is going to give us line segment CG. Next up, we want to name a segment that is perpendicular to segment GH, and it must contain point D. So here is segment GH. It must be perpendicular and contain point D. And so that is segment DH. Next one is to name all segments that are skew to segment CG. So I've put segment CG in yellow. And if we look for ones that are skew to it, remember that skew non-coplanar lines that do not intersect. An example of that would be AB. Not in the same plane, don't intersect. Segment KT, segment TH, and segment AD. All other line segments are either in the same plane or they intersect. Next one says, where do planes ADC, let me mark that off, ADC, so this plane right here, and the plane DHG, where does that intersect? And you could see that they overlap right there. And then our last one asks us to locate the intersection of plane ADC, marking that off in yellow, and plane DHG, marking that off in green, and plane ATH. I'm going to do that one in blue. And you can see that where they intersect is right there. Marked it off in red. That's point D. So we definitely want to make sure that we add these to our note cards as well as be able to identify them.